This is a demo video for Joseph. Joseph, your Graflex is finished and ready to ship back to you. Just made this video real quick to run through some of the instructions for your Saber, your new chassis. It's been installed. So first things first are take off your pommel to switch on your Saber. So that hasn't changed, obviously. It's just your open and your twist, and just give it a gentle tug off to reveal your new chassis. So this is your kill key in your recharge port. You've got your new speaker in here, and you just twist your kill key to turn on. And on comes your first font. Your activation switch is still the same. And so here you see the accent LEDs I put in for you. I have a turbine effect. I've got a couple of different effects in here. This one is a turbine. I've got a few different ones I'll show you as we run through. So I even put in some diffusing and some mesh in here too, just to hide the like if the LED itself is shining through here, it would blind you. So this is your battery level meter LED. So right now it's yellow, which means it's actually yellow fading to red. You can see the red starting to come through. It doesn't quite come out on camera, but I am intentionally letting this discharge because I want to see that it's working, and it looks like it is because I had it all the way green a couple of days ago, which means full battery. It's gone to yellow and now it's fading to red. So it's going to be green full battery, fading to yellow for middle, medium charge battery, we'll say, and it goes to red when your battery is dying. So then your auxiliary working.
That lightsaber was Luke's.
Pretty sweet. With the auxiliary, I have put a little bit of thread locking glue on this before I screwed it in, because I wanted it set just right that the switch works and that it never comes loose or tighter. This chassis is not removable from the core, so it's not designed to be removable, so there's really no reason to ever take this off. So it works perfectly the way it is right now. Onto your second font. This we just have all lit up accent LEDs. I'll go back one font and let you hear your main theme music. So I'm sure you're aware of all the controls already. You know, switch on, double switch for muted on, cycle through fonts with auxiliary, cycle back through fonts, hold auxiliary and press the button, the main button. I will also send instructions, full instructions with the Saber, because I have included a few extra buttons like volume changing mode. So for example, to change your volume, you hold down your auxiliary for 1 second and you hear that tone, and then press, you hear the volume's going down. Press this one to go down, activation to go up, auxiliary to go down. So now we're going all the way back up. That's maximum, and then hold down this for 1 second again, 1 second, and you'll hear another click. And you're at max volume. In case you wanna, I always keep it just one below max. Yeah, I will include a full set of instructions as well. I do not have a 7/8 inch blade in stock to test this out. I just sold my last one. But what I do have is one of these. And I have some 7/8 tube left over from my previous build. So I'm going to pop it in just to show you that your Neopixel connectors are working. So this is your blade retention. You just need a flathead screwdriver. Loosen it all the way out. pinch your bunny ears, as I'm sure you're aware, and pop in your blade. There's the blade in. And I will give it a tighten. So here's my little makeshift test blade in place. All working nicely. So I'll run through a couple of fonts and then show you how to open this up. So keep it moving along. That's your Force Awakens font.
I'm Luke Skywalker.
Luke Skywalker Return of the Jedi font, which are green, of course.
Are you a Jedi? I am.
Luke Skywalker Mandalorian font. Back to a turbine effect. Green blade. So you got everything. You got your flash and clash, your blaster effects, and 1 second hold here gives either force effects or dialogue. So, you know, it's different in so the Yoda, for example. I think there's a lot of dialogue in here
Here is the path to the dark side.
instead of force effects.
Fear of loss is a path to the dark side.
And so for your Yoda, you have a bit of a different effect here. Your LEDs are pulsing outwards and back inwards. Yoda's theme underneath. I won't go through everything. I won't go through all the music and all the fonts, just to leave a couple of things for you to discover yourself.
Final steps.
Ray, yellow, Leia blue. So the Leia, excuse me, accents is a pretty interesting one here because it reacts to volume. So it goes from blue to white to yellow. The louder the Saber gets. Oh, I skipped font there by accident. Let me go back. All right. So I'm gonna hold this button to do flash on clash, and you'll see from the noise it reacts to the noise. So pretty cool. Master window with his purple font. LEDs just blinking back and forth. This is, Starkiller from The Force Awakens. No, not The Force Awakens, what am I saying? The Force Unleashed video game. This is the font that you sent me. This font actually had two styles. It had a light side and a dark side. So this is the dark side. And I split it. This is the second version of that font. Is blue for light side. And this is another interesting accent LED because it responds to motion. So if you see when you twist around, it comes on. If you twist back, it goes to the other side, it goes to the middle. You can play around with it and see. It typically responds to motion like this. So you can see how it kind of falls down when you move the Saber. Yeah, some pretty cool things you can do with these accent LEDs. Okay, so let's take this off and show you the access to your ProffieBoard. So you will need an Allen key. I'm sure you have this Allen key already because you sent me the Saber in this condition. Actually, I skipped over this too. I meant to show this to you that because these are two different parts from this lightsaber. I had some trouble identifying which was which. Some guys in the forum helped me. So this top section is from Parks. It's a Parks Graflex. And the bottom, we think is a Roman Props. Not 100% sure, but it's definitely not a Parks because the Parks doesn't have this clamp writing down here, I guess we'll say. So it wasn't fitting very well, especially with the chassis in place. It was very tight and I was having a lot of trouble. So I had to sand it around here. Now, the only thing about that is you see a little bit through when you put your pommel back on. You can see it here. Personally, I think it looks kind of cool, actually. I hope you're okay with it because, to be honest, it was the best I could do. The two parts really did not fit well together, and now as you can see they fit beautifully together. Okay, that was just something to let you know. Another thing to let you know is that it is a very tight fit. All these chassis are always like this. They're always a really tight fit. Okay, I'm back. Apologies for the interruption. I got a phone call. I'm videoing on my phone and interrupted my video. So as I was saying, the paint on this chassis, even though it came out really nice, it makes it a little bit tighter. And these chassis are always very tight in the pommel. So the paint and the lacquer, I have a layer of two layers actually of rub and buff paint on this, a layer of silver and a layer of copper to give it that nice metallic sheen, and then a layer of clear lacquer over it to protect the rub and buff paint. But even those make it a little bit thicker. So with how tight the chassis is, you'll see it has started already, like a little bit of weathering, I'm going to call it, because to be honest, I think it adds a kind of a nice weathered look to the chassis, because there's no way to avoid it. It's going to happen. Taking the chassis on and off, it's going to rub up this paint a bit and scratch up this paint a bit, like you've seen started right here. So that's it. Now we'll move to taking off the clamp. So as I said, I'm sure you have this little Allen key already, and just open it up. There we go. And then open your clamp and gently slide off to reveal more of your chassis. So yeah, I think this chassis came out really nicely, and you can pop off your cover, which I got, and you can see your ProffieBoard. Full access to your ProffieBoard, an SD card. You can pull out your SD card with little plastic tweezers is the best way. I've put a few drops of glue under the board just to hold it in place. Often I don't like doing that, because if you ever need to, pull it out for any reason, it's a bit difficult, but I especially wanted to do it here because before I glued it in, the board was kind of bouncing up a little bit and almost touching these metal bars, which would not be good news if two of these bridged off the metal bars, because then your Saber would not work. So there's your access, there's your Proffie. When this is on, just give it a nice little click down. This is your Mandalorian Ahsoka font. The music is from the end credits of that episode of The Mandalorian, I believe. Silver blade, of course. Darth Maul. Of course, Jewel of the Fates. Red blade.
It is obvious that this contest cannot be decided.
Count Dooku.
Lord Vader.
This is your Rogue One Vader. So I've put the track from the scene as music behind it. So these are the Dark Saber fonts. As discussed, these are 4 fonts. This one is Moff Gideon. Okay, I double clicked there by an accident. Just brought on the Saber without sound. I left a silver blade for the Dark Saber. It's kind of the best idea I could do. There we go. I was trying to put on the music for you and I kept double clicking. Mandalorian music, as requested. So this is the first one, Moff Gideon.
I claim this sword.
Darth Maul.
Maybe I should practice some
Sabine
first.
Wren
I am Pre Vizsla.
and Pre Vizsla.
We are the Death Watch, descendants of the true warrior faith all Mandalorians worship.
So these fonts are actually the same. Same like swings and stabs and hum and all that, just with different dialogue. So it is kind of cool to have all 4, as we talked about. The music behind this one, I put the Clone Wars. Because that's where we see Pre Vizsla.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Obi-Wan, this is fun. My favorite. You gotta love that cantina music.
These aren't the droids you're looking for. Scene.
And then on to the factory fonts. Factory fonts,
Smooth jet, smooth foot, smooth grey.
I just put some music behind a few of them as well. And just some different assorted blade styles. You have an orange blade, and I think there's like a rainbow blade and a gradient blade and a strobe in there. And then of course, if you don't like the orange, you can always do your color change. Let's hold auxiliary and press main button. Then twist around. You can go from blue to cyan to purple to pink. Just keep twisting around. For now, I'll go back to orange for you. And save state is enabled, so whatever you put here is gonna save. Where are you, orange? There we go. And that's back to your first font. So I think that is pretty much everything. I will just reassemble it. Oh, the clamp card. So the clamp card was pretty loose and it was falling out. So what I done was I put some tape on the sides of it, some like high temperature insulating tape that we typically use in Sabers to stop any grounds and shorts from wire. You can't see it, which is great, and it holds the clamp in a little bit tighter, which is also great. So putting it back together, holding your main button here, keep your clamp to the side, and then line it up with this hole. I'm sure you're aware of this already. Line it up with this hole. So what I do is I line it up with the hole, then I close the clamp. Now it holds it for you, right there. And then I get the little screw, put it on the end of my Allen key, because it's a tricky little screw to hold in. And I screw it in. And just be careful, make sure you get the threads right. You don't want to cross thread it. And there you are. So then open up and put back on your pommel. Line your pommel up. Give it a little squeeze. And in we go. Your pommel doesn't have any sound venting. Some Graflexes have, rivets in the grips which allow sound venting through, or a raised part for the D-ring, which you can drill holes underneath. So this has no sound venting, so it's going to sound a little muffled. You turn it around, but I mean, still not bad. You can still hear what's going on in there. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. The recharge port, did I forget to mention that? Pull out your kill key and just recharge. That's it. I have sanded one side of the kill key so that you can twist it all the way around. So right now it's off, twist it to on and keep twisting. It will only twist one way off, or one, yeah, there we go. So that is anti-clockwise. So you can twist it anti-clockwise to turn off the Saber. So I would just always twist it anti-clockwise. Anti-clockwise to turn on, anti-clockwise to turn off. On, off. And we'll pop this back on. And that is it. This will be shipping out to you tomorrow. I hope you enjoy it, and may the force be with you.